Stop. If you eat or drink the wrong thing in the first hour after waking up, you can shut down fat burning for the entire day. Are you doing everything right in the morning? Eating clean, avoiding sugar, maybe even trying keto, but still not burning fat the way you expected? Let me tell you something most people never hear. Fat burning doesn't start with what you eat. It starts with what your body believes is happening. And that belief is controlled by one hormone, insulin. Here's what's really going on inside your body. Every single morning, your body wakes up at a metabolic crossroads. It can either enter a fat-burning state, what we call ketosis, or it can stay locked in sugar-burning mode, storing fat instead of using it. And the decision happens within the first 60-90 minutes of your day, not later, not after lunch, right at the beginning. What most people don't realize is this: even small morning habits, a cup of sweet tea, stress scrolling your phone, eating too early, or even poor hydration, can spike insulin just enough to completely shut down fat burning for the entire day. That means you could be eating healthy, but metabolically, your body is still stuck. And this is why so many people feel frustrated. They're not lazy. They're not undisciplined. They're just unknowingly sending the wrong signals to their metabolism. In today's video, I'm going to show you the #1 morning habit that flips your body into fat-burning mode naturally, safely, and based on real physiology. We'll break down what happens hormonally when you wake up, why most morning routines actually block ketosis, and how to build a simple, science-based routine that works with your biology, not against it. And by the end of this, you'll have a clear, step-by-step morning protocol you can start tomorrow. Because once you understand how to control insulin in the morning, fat burning stops being a struggle and starts becoming automatic. Before we go deeper, let's map out the 6 critical insights we're going to break down, each one rooted in real physiology and practical application. These are not random tips. These are metabolic switches that determine whether your body burns fat or stores it. 1. The delayed eating mistake that unlocks fat burning. And this one surprises my patients the most. Most people think eating early boosts metabolism, but in reality, it often blocks ketosis before it even begins. 2. Morning hydration, the hidden insulin regulator. And almost nobody talks about this one. What you drink first thing in the morning can either stabilize your metabolism or quietly spike insulin. 3. Cortisol timing, friend or fat-storing enemy. And this one is completely misunderstood. Your stress hormone is naturally highest in the morning, but if you mismanage it, it can shut down fat burning for hours. If this is helpful so far, consider subscribing. I break down complex metabolic science into simple, usable steps every day. 4. The healthy breakfast trap that keeps you fat storing. And this is where most people go wrong. Even foods considered healthy can spike insulin and prevent your body from entering ketosis. 5. Light exposure, the metabolic reset button you're ignoring. And this one sounds simple, but it's powerful. Your body's fat-burning signals are directly tied to your circadian rhythm, and light is the trigger. And if you're learning something new here, make sure to like the video. It helps more people discover this kind of science-based content. 6. Movement versus exercise. The subtle difference that changes everything. And this one can accelerate fat burning without exhausting you. You don't need intense workouts in the morning. In fact, the wrong type can backfire hormonally. Each of these points connects to one central idea. Your morning routine is not just a habit. It's a hormonal instruction manual. And once you understand how to send the right signals, your body naturally shifts into fat-burning mode. 1. The delayed eating mistake that unlocks fat burning, and this one surprises my patients the most. Most of my patients tell me, "Doctor, I wake up and eat immediately because I've heard breakfast boosts metabolism." They believe that if they don't eat early, their body will go into starvation mode and hold on to fat. But here's what's actually happening inside your body. When you wake up, your insulin levels are naturally low, and your body is already slightly in a fat-burning state after the overnight fast. The moment you eat, even something healthy, insulin rises. And when insulin rises, fat burning stops. What the research shows is that extending your overnight fast, even by just a few hours, allows your body to shift deeper into ketosis, where it starts using stored fat as fuel. This is why something as simple as delaying your first meal can dramatically improve fat burning without changing anything else. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Think of your body like a hybrid car that can run on two fuels, sugar and fat. When you eat early, it's like constantly refilling the petrol tank. The car never switches to the backup battery. But when you delay eating, you allow the petrol to run low. And now the car is forced to switch to stored energy. Your body fat research, published in the journal Cell Metabolism, found that time-restricted eating, delaying the first meal, can improve metabolic flexibility and increase fat oxidation, even without reducing calories. In fact, participants who delayed eating showed improved insulin sensitivity and fat-burning efficiency within weeks. My recommendation for every patient trying to support ketosis: delay your first meal by at least 60-90 minutes after waking. If possible, gradually extend this to a 12-14-hour overnight fast. During this time, stick to water, black coffee, no sugar, no cream, electrolytes if needed. No calories. That's the key. Your body is ready to burn fat the moment you wake up. Don't shut that process down. Not tomorrow, today. If this is making sense so far, consider subscribing. I share practical, science-based strategies like this every day to help you take control of your metabolism. 2. Morning hydration, the hidden insulin regulator. And almost nobody talks about this one. Almost every patient I've seen with stubborn fat loss says, "I just grab tea or juice first thing in the morning. It's light, so it's fine." They assume that what they drink doesn't really affect fat burning, especially if it's not a heavy meal. But here's what's actually happening inside your body. After 6 to 8 hours of sleep, your body wakes up in a mildly dehydrated state. And when you're dehydrated, your body releases stress hormones like cortisol and vasopressin, both of which can increase blood sugar levels. Now here's the key. When blood sugar rises, insulin follows. So even before you eat anything, dehydration alone can push your body out of fat-burning mode. And when you add sugary drinks, milk tea, or even fruit juice on top of that, you're stacking insulin spikes right at the start of your day. What the research shows is that proper hydration helps regulate blood sugar, improve insulin sensitivity, and support metabolic function at the cellular level. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Think of your bloodstream like a river. When you're well hydrated, the river flows smoothly. Nutrients, hormones, and oxygen move efficiently. But when you're dehydrated, that river becomes thick and slow, like mud. Everything gets backed up, including sugar, forcing your body to release more insulin to manage the traffic. According to research published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism, even mild dehydration can increase cortisol levels and negatively impact glucose regulation. Additionally, studies have shown that individuals with higher daily water intake tend to have better blood sugar control and lower risk of metabolic dysfunction. My recommendation for every patient over 40 trying to support fat burning: start your day with 500-700 milliliters of water within the first 15 minutes of waking up. For better results, you can add a pinch of natural salt for electrolytes, or a squeeze of lemon, optional, not required. Avoid sugary drinks, packaged juices, milk tea on an empty stomach. Hydrate first, then let your metabolism stabilize. Before you think about food, fix your hydration, not later. First thing tomorrow morning. 3. Cortisol timing, friend or fat-storing enemy. Key, and this one is completely misunderstood. Most of my patients tell me, stress is bad, so I try to suppress it in the morning. I check my phone, sit quietly, or just ease into the day slowly. They think avoiding any form of stress or stimulation will protect their health and help with fat loss. But here's what's actually happening inside your body. Cortisol, your primary stress hormone, naturally peaks in the morning. This is not a problem. It's actually a biological advantage. Morning cortisol helps wake you up, mobilize stored energy, increase alertness, support fat breakdown. But when you mismanage this window by staying inactive, doom scrolling your phone, or exposing yourself to artificial stress, cortisol becomes chaotic instead of controlled, and uncontrolled cortisol leads to blood sugar spikes, insulin release, fat storage, especially around the belly. What the research shows is that aligning with your natural cortisol rhythm instead of fighting it improves metabolic efficiency and supports fat oxidation. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Think of cortisol like sunlight in the morning. If you use it correctly, it energizes your entire system, like solar panels generating power. But if you block it, distort it, or expose yourself to artificial light at the wrong time, it's like trying to run your system on flickering, unstable electricity. Your metabolism becomes inefficient. Research published in Psychoneuroendocrinology shows that a well-regulated cortisol awakening response is associated with better metabolic health, improved insulin sensitivity, and lower risk of obesity. On the other hand, disrupted cortisol patterns are strongly linked to increased fat storage and metabolic dysfunction. My recommendation for every patient trying to optimize fat burning: within 30 minutes of waking, do one of the following. Step outside for natural sunlight, 5 to 10 minutes. Take a short walk. Do light stretching or mobility work. Avoid checking your phone immediately. Sitting in darkness. High stimulation stress, emails, news, social media. Use your cortisol. Don't waste it. Your body gives you a natural energy boost every morning. Use it or lose its benefits. Starting tomorrow. If this is helping you see your mornings differently, consider subscribing. I break down real science into simple daily actions. 4. The healthy breakfast trap that keeps you fat storing. And this is where most people go wrong. Almost every patient I've seen says, I eat a healthy breakfast, oats, brown bread, fruit, maybe honey, so I'm doing the right thing. They believe that as long as the food is labeled healthy, it will support fat loss. But here's what's actually happening inside your body. Many of these healthy breakfast foods are still high in carbohydrates. And when you eat carbs, even natural ones, your body breaks them down into glucose. That glucose enters your bloodstream, and insulin rises to manage it. Now remember this rule. When insulin is elevated, fat burning is turned off. So even though the food is healthy, metabolically your body is still in storage mode, not fat burning mode. What the research shows is that lower carb, higher protein, or fasting-based mornings lead to better blood sugar control and improved fat oxidation throughout the day. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Think of insulin like a storage manager in a warehouse. When glucose comes in, insulin says, stop using stored energy. We have new fuel arriving. So instead of burning your stored fat, your warehouse stock, your body keeps storing more boxes, while the old ones just sit there. Research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that high carbohydrate breakfasts lead to higher post-meal glucose and insulin spikes compared to lower carb alternatives. Another study showed that reducing morning carbohydrate intake improves insulin sensitivity and supports sustained fat burning throughout the day. My recommendation for every patient trying to enter ketosis: either skip breakfast, fasting, or choose a low-carb, high-protein option, such as eggs, Greek yogurt, unsweetened, nuts, or seeds. Avoid oats with sugar or honey, fruit juices or smoothies, bread-based breakfasts. Start your day without spiking insulin. That's the goal. Healthy doesn't always mean fat burning. Make the right choice, starting with your next morning 5. Light exposure, the metabolic reset button. You're ignoring And this one sounds simple, but it's powerful. Most of my patients tell me light doesn't really matter. I wake up, stay indoors, and start my day under room lighting. They assume metabolism is only controlled by food and exercise, not by light. But here's what's actually happening inside your body. Your metabolism is tightly connected to your circadian rhythm, your internal body clock. And the strongest signal that sets this clock every day is natural light. When sunlight hits your eyes in the morning, it sends a signal to your brain, specifically the hypothalamus, to regulate hormones like cortisol, melatonin, insulin sensitivity. This helps your body wake up properly, balance blood sugar, improve fat burning efficiency. But when you skip morning light and stay under artificial lighting, your body clock becomes confused, and a confused body clock leads to poor insulin control, increased cravings, reduced fat burning. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Think of your body like a factory that runs on a schedule. Morning sunlight is the factory whistle that tells every worker when to start their job. If the whistle doesn't blow, workers show up late, tasks get delayed, and the whole system becomes inefficient. That's exactly what happens to your metabolism without proper light signals. Research published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism shows that proper circadian alignment improves insulin sensitivity and metabolic health. Another study found that individuals exposed to morning sunlight had better body weight regulation and improved energy balance compared to those who stayed indoors. My recommendation for every patient serious about fat loss: within 30-60 minutes of waking, get 5 to 10 minutes of natural sunlight exposure. Simple ways: step outside your home, walk in your street or balcony, sit near direct sunlight, not through tinted glass if possible. Avoid starting your day in a dark room. Relying only on artificial lighting. Light is not optional. It's a biological signal. Reset your body clock, or stay stuck fighting your metabolism. The choice starts tomorrow morning. If this is opening your eyes to how powerful simple habits can be, consider liking the video. It helps more people discover real, science-based health strategies. 6. Movement versus exercise. The subtle difference that changes everything. And this one can accelerate fat burning without exhausting you. Almost every patient I've seen says, "I need to do an intense workout in the morning to burn fat. The harder, the better." They believe that sweating more equals burning more fat. But here's what's actually happening inside your body. High-intensity workouts early in the morning, especially in a fasted state, can spike cortisol excessively. Now remember, a controlled rise in cortisol helps fat burning, but too much of it increases blood sugar. And when blood sugar rises, insulin follows. So instead of burning fat, your body may shift back into storage mode, especially if your system is already stressed or sleep deprived. What the research shows is that low-intensity movement, like walking, keeps insulin low, supports fat oxidation, and avoids unnecessary hormonal stress. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Think of your body like a fireplace. Low, steady movement is like adding small pieces of wood. It keeps the fire burning smoothly for hours. But intense exercise is like throwing a huge log all at once. It creates a sudden flare-up, smoke, and instability. For fat burning, you don't want chaos. You want consistency. Research published in the Journal of Applied Physiology shows that low-intensity exercise performed in a fasted state increases fat oxidation compared to high-intensity workouts. Additionally, studies suggest that excessive early morning high-intensity training can elevate cortisol and impair glucose control in some individuals. My recommendation for every patient trying to support ketosis: start your morning with 10 to 20 minutes of light movement, such as walking, stretching, gentle mobility exercise. If you enjoy intense workouts, schedule them later in the day, not immediately after waking. Keep your morning calm, controlled, and metabolically supportive. You don't need to exhaust your body to burn fat. Start smarter, starting tomorrow morning. Let's bring this all together, because now you can see the bigger picture. Fat burning is not about willpower. It's not about eating less or exercising harder. It's about sending the right signals to your body at the right time. Here's what we've uncovered. When you delay your first meal, you extend your body's natural fat-burning window. When you hydrate properly, you stabilize hormones and prevent hidden insulin spikes. When you use your morning cortisol correctly, you unlock stored energy instead of storing more fat. When you avoid the healthy breakfast trap, you keep insulin low and metabolism active. When you get morning sunlight, you reset your internal clock and improve metabolic efficiency. And when you choose movement over intensity, you support fat burning without triggering stress responses. Individually, these seem simple, but together, they form a powerful metabolic routine, a routine that works with your biology, not against it. Because here's the truth, your body already knows how to burn fat. You just have to stop interrupting the process. So here's your challenge. Tomorrow morning, don't try to do everything. Just pick one habit. Delay your breakfast. Drink water first, step outside for sunlight, or take a short walk and then observe your body, your energy, your hunger, your focus. Because when you start working with your metabolism, you don't just lose fat, you gain control. If this helped you understand your body on a deeper level, take a moment to like the video and subscribe. Join a community of people who are not chasing quick fixes, but building real, lasting health naturally. And I'll see you in the next one.